Absolutely. Here is a full YouTube article around titled, The Muscle Car, A Thunderous Legacy of American Power, written in a flowing, documentary-style format, without using the phrase, handling condition. The Muscle Car, A Thunderous Legacy of American Power. When we talk about raw horsepower, aggressive styling, and the unfiltered roar of V8 engines echoing across the highways of America, one name stands tall, the muscle car. Born in the golden era of the 1960s and 70s, muscle cars weren't just automobiles, they were a cultural revolution on four wheels. These machines symbolized rebellion, freedom, and unrelenting power. They were street beasts that could take on drag strips by day and cruise main streets by night. From the Dodge Charger to the Pontiac GTO, from the Mustang to the Camaro, muscle cars shaped an era and still ignite adrenaline in every gearhead's heart today. Let's journey through the birth, rise, fall, and rebirth of the muscle car, and discover why these cars still capture imaginations like thunder in a bottle. Checkered flag: the origins, where muscle was born. To understand muscle cars, we need to go back to post-World War II America. By the 1950s, the economy was booming, and the youth market wanted something exciting, something louder and faster. Manufacturers took note. In 1949, Oldsmobile introduced the Rocket 88, a lightweight body paired with a V8 engine. It became an instant success, often considered the first muscle car in spirit. It wasn't called one yet, but it lit the fuse. The formula was simple but brilliant: big engines plus small to mid-size cars equals massive street power. By the early 60s, this idea evolved rapidly. Detroit's automakers entered an arms race for horsepower dominance. Fire the Golden Age 1964 to 1971. The true explosion came in 1964, when Pontiac released the GTO. Though it technically bent GM's internal rules by stuffing a 389 cubic inch V8 into a mid-size Tempest body, it was a smash hit. It sold like crazy, and the muscle car era officially began. Legendary machines of the era. 1967 Chevrolet Camaro SS, a response to Ford's Mustang, with aggressive looks and powerful V8s. 1969 Dodge Charger RT, a beast on the street and a legend in pop culture thanks to the Dukes of Hazzard. 1970 Plymouth Hemi, CUDA, raw, rare, and brutally fast with the 426 Hemi. Ford Mustang Boss 429, a homologation special with NASCAR-bred firepower under the hood. Chevelle SS 454, a monstrous 450 horsepower brute that reigned as the king of the strip. These weren't just fast, they looked the part: hood scoops, racing stripes, chrome bumpers, shaker hoods, and names that screamed power: Super B, Road Runner, Demon, Judge. Every model was a declaration of war on boring. Gear: what made a muscle car? There's debate even today about what qualifies as a true muscle car. But during the heyday, the most widely accepted traits included a powerful V8 engine, usually over 5.0 liters, 305 cu/in. A two-door body, often coupe or hardtop. Rear-wheel drive, a relatively affordable price for blue-collar buyers. Built for straight-line speed and quarter-mile dominance. They weren't just for racing, they were accessible performance machines for the masses. You didn't have to be rich to enjoy big-time power. That was revolutionary. Tornado muscle cars in pop culture. As muscle cars ruled the streets, they also stormed into the spotlight of American cinema and television. Steve McQueen's 1968 Mustang Fastback in Bullet became an icon after its epic San Francisco chase. The Dodge Charger starred in The Dukes of Hazzard and Fast and Furious. The Pontiac Trans Am stole the show in Smokey and the Bandit. The 1970 Dodge Challenger RT left skid marks in cult classics like Vanishing Point. Their loud, brash personalities mirrored the rebellious spirit of the times: Vietnam protests, the counterculture movement, and a growing sense of American individualism. Downward trend: the fall, oil, insurance and regulation. As the 1970s progressed, dark clouds formed over the muscle car kingdom. The 1973 oil crisis made V8s impractical as gas prices surged and lines at fuel stations grew. Insurance premiums skyrocketed for high-performance models, pricing out young buyers. Federal emissions and safety regulations choked horsepower. Rising concerns over pollution and traffic fatalities led to public backlash against fast cars. By 1975, most muscle cars were neutered versions of their former selves. Horsepower dropped, styling was softened, the roar became a murmur. Models like the GTO disappeared altogether. Others, like the Mustang, were downsized and tamed. The era was over, Anti-clockwise arrows the comeback, muscle for the modern era. But legends don't die, they evolve. In the late 80s and early 90s, we saw signs of resurrection. Ford Mustang GT Fox body brought back speed at a lower price. Chevrolet Camaro Z28 and Pontiac Firebird kept muscle alive into the 2000s. Dodge Charger and Challenger returned in the 2000s with true V8 grunt. By 2010, we had a muscle car renaissance. Camaro SS and ZL1 stormed the streets. Mustang GT and Shelby GT500 pushed past 700 horsepower. Dodge Hellcat and Redeye brought over 700 to 800 horsepower from the factory. These modern muscle cars blended retro design with high-tech engines, launch control, and refined interiors. They honored the past but embraced the future. Hammer and wrench tuning, custom culture and global fame. One of the defining traits of muscle cars is their appeal to tuners, builders, and modifiers. From drag strips to garage builds, muscle cars remain a platform for engine swaps, LS, Hemi, Coyote, custom bodywork and resto mods, turbochargers, nitrous, and superchargers, aftermarket suspension and interior upgrades. They're also global icons now. From Australia to Europe to Japan, American muscle has become a genre of car culture in its own right. Light bulb electric muscle, the future ahead. Today, we face a new era, electrification. Dodge recently revealed the Charger Daytona SRT EV concept, an electric muscle car with simulated exhaust sounds and lightning-fast acceleration. Ford released the Mustang Mach-E, a performance-focused electric crossover that carries the Mustang name, though controversially. While purists may push back, manufacturers are clear: the spirit of muscle, speed, style, and presence will evolve into electric platforms, like it or not. The rumble may fade, but the thrill is far from gone. Trophy: why muscle cars still matter. Muscle cars are more than nostalgia. They are mechanical expressions of freedom, icons of rebellion, symbols of American grit and ingenuity. They represent an era when cars were more than appliances, they were identities. Even as hybrids and EVs become the new norm, the muscle car's cultural torque remains unmatched. Megaphone: final thoughts, the legacy lives on. From roaring boulevards in 1970 to high-tech drag strips today, the muscle car story is one of power, passion, and perseverance. It's the tale of machines built not just to move people, but to move their souls. The muscle car lives on, not just in garages and movies, but in